everyone. There is a new book that examines how your childhood may actually impact your financial situation as an adult.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. We're going to be chatting with Joyce Marter, a psychotherapist and author of the new book, The Financial Mindset Fix. Well, it's Money Matters on Good Day New York. This morning we're talking about how childhood roles in your family may be impacting your financial situation as an adult.
That's right. So there's a new book out, here you look at it, that explains it all. It's called The Financial Mindset Fix, a mental fitness program for an abundant life. Joining us is the author and psychotherapist, Joyce Marter. Good morning, Joyce. How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here in Good Day New York.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I understand there's some common family roles that you'll outline in terms of, you know, the childhood financial wherewithal and how it really translates into where you're at now.
Right. So families are systems, and each member of the family plays a different part in that system's function or dysfunction. And there are many different roles in family systems theory, but I want to talk about 4 that have major influences on career and finance. So the first is the good child. And this is a people pleaser who doesn't rock the boat, and they end up working in more subservient, supportive roles and being under earners in the workplace. The second one is the black sheep or the scapegoat, and they're identified as the problem child, and they may have internalized some negative messages and self-sabotage in their career and their financial life. There's also the rescuer, and this person is a detrimental caretaker, meaning they take care of others at the expense of their own health and wellness. They end up as health professionals, caring professionals, helping professionals, therapists, nurses, and sometimes spend a lot of money trying to save or rescue loved ones with mental health or addiction problems. And then finally, we have the golden child or the hero. And this person is the star of the family. They may be living out someone else's dream. Maybe they grew up in a culture where they were told they needed to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or follow the family business when maybe that wasn't really aligned with who they are. So they're dealing with maybe unhappiness even though they have financial success.
Right, and I imagine there are a lot of people watching right now seeing those different roles and being like, that's me. Oh my God, that's my brother. That's exactly what I do. So obviously the key is sort of identifying who you are in that list and then figuring out ways to fix it. Walk us through that.
Absolutely. So I recommend 5 steps. So the first one is to identify your role and then think about what are the pros and cons of that role and what is no longer serving you. What behaviors and themes and patterns and relationships are you willing to let go? The second one is to become aware of your self-talk, because our thoughts precede our emotions and our behaviors and how we act in relationships. So we want to silence our inner critic and help positively coach ourselves to change our ingrained patterns and habits in relationships. And then thirdly, we want to practice assertiveness and learn to say no and set healthy financial boundaries and limits in our relationships. For example, if you're a good child, learning how to advocate for yourself, how to negotiate, etc. And then I always encourage people to have a reflective practice like journaling or meditation that's going to help you become more conscious of the roles that you're repeating and how you're doing at changing those. And finally, accessing support is so important, whether it's counseling or therapy or coaching or a support group, or simply having an accountability partner that you check in regularly to talk about how you're both making progress, making positive change in your life.
And Joyce, I actually was able to quickly kind of scan a couple portions of the book, and I thought it resonated very deeply. And there's one point where you said, we are learning an important lesson from the pandemic. There is an intrinsic relationship between mental health and financial health. Can you explain a little bit?
Well, the pandemic is a global trauma that has wreaked mental health and financial health crisis, and they're interrelated. When we're in financial crisis, it can cause depression, anxiety, trauma symptoms, relationship conflict. And when we're dealing with mental health issues, it impacts our ability to be productive at work and successful in our career and finances. And I learned as a therapist that when we work on our psychology of money and we work on our mental health, we can actually improve our careers and financial health.
You know, it's interesting. It does seem sort of like a good news, bad news, because I do subscribe to this idea that how we are raised as a child has big impacts on our financial health later in life. That said, it takes a lot of work to maybe change the roles you're used to. It's not, you know, save $5 more a week or whatnot. It's deeper, more profound work people need to engage in. How long would it take to do that work and start seeing positive results, do you think?
It varies person to person, but yes, it does take work to do our inner work, our psychological work, and to become more conscious. And the basics of money management isn't rocket science, but our psychology makes it difficult. So my book is a program with practical tools and strategies and exercises that are proven from psychology, and they're fun. And there are 12 chapters with 12 mindsets that improve mental health and financial health. And people can work the program in the book in a way that works for them. You could do a chapter a month, a chapter a week. Sometimes we need to revisit a chapter when an issue pops up in our life. And my hope and intention is that it's really helpful for people in recovering and then thriving and prospering.
All right, Joyce, thanks. And, you know, I looked over the book, and again, there's a lot of worksheets and ways to really kind of dive deep. So we appreciate your time with us. Okay, so the Financial Mindset Fix, available in bookstores, online, and with Audible right now. Thank you so much, Joyce, for joining us.
Thank you.